Welcome back to Axis Anime. My name is Henshin Ikeda, and today I'll be doing a walkthrough review of Maoyuu Maou Yuusha Episode 8. Now, if you remember from last episode, we find out Mao and the nun both want to sleep with Yuusha, and it gets better. We do find out from the nun that Yuusha actually has another follower, another female follower, the Dragon Princess. She also loves him. I was like, come on. And guess what? It gets better. The head maid actually sees what's going on. She's like, I don't want you guys fighting, so instead, I'm going to go in, I'm going to sleep with Yuusha. Now, she has no real love interest, in my opinion. She was just doing it just to stop them from quarreling. And they kind of stop her, and then the head nun just forces both of them into Yuusha's bedroom and locks them in. And they both argue who's going to sleep with Yuusha. I was like, what? And eventually, they both end up sleeping with Yuusha while he's asleep. Now, they're not screwing around with him, but they're just like, one girl's on one side, the other girl's on the other side. I'm like, come on, man. He's awake and he knows what's happening. He's just fake sleeping. It's funny. Now, if you think about this actual series is now a harem series. Think about it. Dragon Princess. Come on. Mao. The nun. 3. Now, the head maid technically has no real love interest in my opinion, but she could be considered as the 4th girl. But come on. That just annoys me. I mean, come on. Just someone. Do something. Let's rock the boat, man. Let's rock the boat. Now, we are taken to a different scene with Mao, Yuusha, and one of the maids. Apparently, they've been transported to the Iron City where they're picking up a prototype of the printing press. So Mao had an interesting side project, the printing press. Now, this is actually a real history lesson if you didn't know this. In reality, Johann Gutenberg actually created the printing press. So just food for thought there. Now, moving on past that, we are taken to a different scene with Mao. And we find out kind of a little disturbing news. Apparently her Demon King license is about to expire, so she has to leave. And I'm like, so in order to become a Demon King, you have to have a license? Sign me up. I want one. Give me one. I'd be a great Demon King. No, I wouldn't. Burn the place down. Nah, just putting that out there. No, I'm not. But anyway, she has to go back to the demon world, and she's taking the head maid with her, and she has to complete a ritual to get her license renewed. Now, she does leave Yuusha in charge, and one of the maids kind of are going to be taking her place, because she ends up giving one of the maids one of her rings, which is actually going to transform one of the maids into Mao. So it's going to appear like Mao is still here, so she's able to attend meetings and whatnot, but it's a fake Mao. So definitely thought that was worth mentioning. But again, that's where the episode ends, and all my final thought and rating at the end of the clip. So stay tuned. But let's dive right on in. So we open up this episode with the little maid. God, she's so adorable, and she's making tea. She's actually serving tea to a guy from the Allied Merchants. Yeah, the one who has a love interest in Mao. He's returned. Now, we don't know what his name is, and I don't really care because I don't really like this guy. I don't. But apparently Mao does appear, which is the fake Mao, and she actually greets him. I'm like, okay, that's kind of interesting. But again, that's where we open up with. Moving on past that, we're taken to a different scene with the guy from the Allied Merchants. And I was kind of curious. I'm like, why is he here? Apparently he came to deliver a balance sheet and other documents. Really? Really? You have a love interest and that's the best you can come up with? Come on, I was hoping for some romantic, cheap ass line, you know, like a romantic line or something, like, I came here for you, or something like that. And he kind of missed the punchline there to wow her. Even if it was the fake Mao, still I thought it was hilarious. Now, apparently he could have, you know, sent all this shit on a ship instead of coming personally, but he came personally, so you know he has a love interest in Mao, or something along those lines. However, he senses something wrong with Mao. He knows that this isn't the real Mao, it's fake. This is a fake Mao. It's because he has a really good intuition about this. Now, Yuusha does appear, and he does end up telling the Allied merchant that, yeah, this isn't Mao. It's like, fake Mao, he's not buying it, the jig's up. But he does it so settled, like he's very calmly, he does it calmly, and it just doesn't make sense. You know, it's like he knew this was going to happen, so he sits down and he explains everything. So now this Allied merchant is now aware of everything, and he's also calm about that. And apparently the Allied merchant and Yuusha are friends. Not in the sense like they're best friends, but you know, apparently the Allied merchant was the original guy who hired Yuusha to actually take out the Demon King for 15 gold pieces. Plus, he also included a banquet, which was part of his contract. So I was like, okay, this starts to make a little more sense how they know each other. Now, moving on past that, we do find out Yuusha, he still wants his banquet. I'm like, because it was part of the contract, and apparently the Allied merchant agrees, okay, fine, I'll give you a banquet. But you know, in theory, Yuusha didn't defeat or kill the Demon King, so How the hell does he deserve a freaking banquet? Come on. Just putting that out there, just doesn't make sense. Now Yuusha does grab the allied merchant, and they actually teleport to the demon realm. To make it more specific, Gate City. They're on the outskirts of Gate City, and apparently he wants to have the banquet there. I'm like, really? Love the location, great view. The lights look like the northern lights. I love it. Now we're taking to a different scene with Yuusha. Now Yuusha actually tells the allied merchant that Mao is the demon, or a demon, not the demon king. At least subtitle wise, he didn't say demon king. So I'm afraid to say that the allied merchant has no idea that Mao is the demon king, but he does know that Mao is a demon. He's a little not unsettled, but I don't know really what to say. He's just not himself, but he's taking it pretty well regardless. But I mean, it's all this information is being hit at them all at once, or hit at him all at once. Now Yuusha does take the allied merchant to Gate City. They visit Gate City because now it's a neutral territory, and he explains to the allied merchants, this is a neutral territory, but look how the business is thriving. And then we're thrown with a little information. Guess what? Gate City's population, 32,000 people, both humans and demons alike. There's no armies, there's no guards, nothing like that. It's just common people, and it's actually thriving. It makes sense. However, we're taking to a different scene with a dragon princess. She shows up, and guess what? She wants to help Yuusha out with his banquet. Perfect timing. Perfect time, that's all I can say. And during this banquet, all I can say is the funniest part, Yuusha turns to the allied merchant and he says, do you like the dragon princess's tits? I'm like, what? Yeah, you like her boobs? Come on, man. I can't take you seriously as a hero or as the Dark Knight. You're just one pervious hero, and you hide it so well with your stupidity. You do. So we're taking to a different scene with Mao. Now, apparently Mao, she's either found or is with 3 female mages in the library, or a library. I don't know if it's in a different dimension or not, but she is in the demon world technically. Now again, if you remember correctly, one of Yuusha's companions was a mage, and she went to the demon world to look for Yuusha. I'm afraid to say that this might be that mage. I know I said afraid to say, but it's because you got 3 girls. Now, are they all the same? Is this girl asleep? It appears like she's asleep because Mao says she delivered a message to her. I was like, okay. I don't know whether this new companion that, Mao's discovered is going to be actually go back to see, Yuusha or not, but at least she found her. I mean, that's a plus, right? Now, we are taking to a different scene with Yuusha. Now, apparently he wants to sell Gate City to the allied merchant. I didn't know Gate City was up for sale. I mean, wasn't it just liberated technically, or at least no longer under the control of anyone? By saying you're going to sell it tells me that you own it. I don't know if this was just a physical, like a weird gesture of, you like the city? Well, if you take control of it or you show more interest, maybe we can spread the glory to these other areas. Maybe that's what he meant by that. I just, I was a little confused, but I understand it now. Now, we are taking to a different scene with Mao and the head maid, and Mao's basically explaining to, well, before I go into detail about that, they actually are in the demon world at the former demon king's tombs, like where they're buried. And again, Mao's explaining to the head maid, I'm going to go into the tomb, I'm going to do my rituals and whatnot to get my, my demon king license renewed. But if I leave the tomb and I'm different, slay me. Promise me you'll slay me. And I have so many questions. Why would you say that? I mean, literally, why would you say that? But again, that was an interesting scene. Now we are taking to a different scene with the nun. Now again, we're back at Mao's estate in the human world, and we see the nun, and she's giving her body, mind, and soul to Yuusha. She's taken a knee and basically says, Yuusha, I want you to be my master. Kind of like, I want you to be my king. In that sense, she basically gives her sword to Yuusha, and she basically tells him, I've never given my sword to anyone. I've been in all these battles, these campaigns, but I've never gave my allegiance to anyone. I'd like you to be my master. Yuusha takes this pretty seriously. He takes her sword and knights her. Doesn't say anything, but knights her and gives the sword back. And I was like, wow. It got really all serious, all emotional. It got quiet. And then Yuusha says, so this comes with a week back guarantee thing, right? Like, wait, what? Did you just say, so this comes with a 1-week return policy? I was like, how could you say that? This comes with a 1-week Don't even go there. I'm not even fucking. I'm sorry. I'm losing my composure because I'm like, this girl just fucking offered herself kind of as your mistress, even though she knows that you have a love interest with Mao. You guys have a thing going on, and you joke about it, and then the nun turns around and says, "Nah, you're screwed." Love it. Priceless there. However, we are taken to a different scene. Now, apparently we get to see all of Mao's allies, you know, the Winter King and everyone else that she's helped along the ways, and they're being informed that Mao is being branded a heretic, which means everything that Mao's done up until now is considered blasphemy. The potatoes, her agricultural stuff, everything is considered, you know, blasphemy, and anyone that's connected with it is also going to be considered a heretic. So they want to arrest Mao in general. And the Winter King, as well as a few other of Mao's allies, are actually heading toward Mao's estate to talk with her. Now, of course, we are taken to a different scene with Yuusha, and he's come up with a plan in front of the Winter King and everyone else that he actually wants the maid to transform into Mao and to get arrested. Because once they take away Mao, or the fake Mao, out of the Winter King territory, the Winter King can no longer be branded a heretic because he's not going to be helping. It won't be on him if, you know, Mao gets saved by someone, or if she's kidnapped, or, you know, something along those lines. So what Yuusha actually wants to do is, once this fake Mao is out of the countryside and no longer is in the Winter King's territory, he's going to swoop in and save her, and it's done deal. But again, that's where the episode ends. As for final thoughts, okay, first of all, this plan, Yuusha, did you really think it out? You think it's going to be that easy after she gets arrested? I mean, come on. If she's being branded a heretic, you probably would have assumed they might actually have mages or something around to, you know, watch what's really going on. But moving on past that, who are these people who are actually branding, you know, Mao a heretic? I mean, Mao isn't a heretic. Yes, she is the demon and the demon king, but no one else knows that except somewhat of the inner circle. And to be called a heretic is definitely something heavy, and I would definitely challenge that. And they want to bring her to court, or they want to give her a trial. Trial for what? Improving the goddamn government? It just does not make sense. I mean, seriously, I want to see these people that are calling her a heretic. I mean, we see two people, but we don't know what order they're from. If they're from the church, it looks like, something like that. I still just don't understand the situation enough to really give a damn, because I just don't like these guys. They just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Moving on past that, as per Mao getting her Demon King license renewed, why did she tell her head maid to slay her after she is done with her ritual? If she changes, like if she becomes like a demonic person, probably, we don't really know. So I can't wait to find out about that. And as per Yuusha's companion that's in the demon world, that's the mage. Are we going to see her in the next episode? I hope so. But again, that ends it for my final thoughts. As per my rating, 3.5 out of 5. I'm giving this a 3.5 out of 5 because there was a little drama, romance, kind of a mix there with, you know, the nun, obviously, and kind of a funny, dramatic one between, you know, the allied merchant and the fake Mao. But beyond that, well, plus the dragon princess, obviously, and doing the whole banquet. But other than that, really, the fightings, there were no fight scenes. New information, yes, we know that Mao's being now marked as a heretic, but that's about it. So not a lot in this episode. We're getting to it. There's the build up. The next episode's probably going to be a lot more amazing in my opinion. So final rating, 3.5 out of 5. But again, guys, that ends it for my walkthrough review of Maoyuu Maou Yuusha episode 8. But definitely comment down below. Let me know. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Definitely subscribe. Check me out on Twitter and follow me if you like. But let me know what you thought of this episode, and let me know things that happen in the next episode that's coming out. But again, guys, that ends it for now, and I gotta hit the bricks. I gotta go. I definitely have to go. Before I go, I have to say it, and I always say it. You can't stop the access, but you can watch the feed. I'll see you later, guys.